I just decided to go ahead and have an abortion. I thought it wasn't time.
Right.
It wasn't the appropriate time.
Right. And what was the whole process like?
We actually went to a private doctor that was known for performing abortion, and it entailed, when I went into the office, he asked me when I had missed my cycle, and he calculated and determined how far along I was. And at that point, I was going towards being 3 months pregnant, and he was like, fine, he'll do it. And what he did, he actually gave me some injections that was to induce labor. So he was actually causing me to have spontaneous abortion. He was inducing labor, premature labor. And after that, he had me wait for a minute, and a couple of minutes later, I went back into his office, and he did what would be called, it's not actually a DNC, but he actually separated the fetus from the lining of my wall, from my uterus. And at that point, this was my first abortion, and I heard of other people having abortions, but I've never seen it. So I thought that at that point everything would be taken care of, but he told me I had to go home and I would give birth at home.
Whoa, that's so scary. And how old were you when this all happened?
I was 19 years old.
Wow.
So I wasn't that young.
And so here you are at home on your own, and you are giving birth to this baby.
Actually, I didn't go home. At that point, I lived with my parents.
Right.
My parents didn't know, so he told his mother, and his mother had me go over to her house.
Wow.
And she was the one that helped me, because at that point my boyfriend left. He didn't want any part of it.
Wow.
And so his mother was the one that helped me and told me what to do. Apparently she had helped other people in the same situations.
Wow.
And it was in her house. She told me what to do, and the fact that I'm literally gonna go through labor pain.
Wow.
And I'm gonna pass blood and so forth. And it was at her house with her assistant that I gave birth to a 3-month-old baby.
Wow. And so, I mean, when the baby came out, did you reckon, because a lot of people, they have views that, oh, it's not a baby yet, you know, at conception it's not a baby. Did you recognize it as being a baby at that time?
As much as I didn't want to, it was clear that it was a child.
Wow.
I could have seen the head, the arms, everything. And I did a quick look, and I really didn't want to. But something just compelled me to look, and I did. And I saw this was a fully formed child.
Wow.
And that was when it hit me, like, nah, this is what you did. That's a baby.
This is for those who've made mistakes in their past and never thought that the guilt would go away, but as being a new man in Christ, this brings closure for me, and I hope you all are blessed by it. Listen, I sometimes wonder how my life would be if we gave you a chance to see how life could be. Some things I guess I'll never know. Yeah, I always wonder how your life would be. Would you take after your mother or look just like me? By now you'll be 8 years old. It was such a long time ago. Such a long time. So many things we did not know. Yeah. Sorry I couldn't hear your cry. Oh yeah. And if we had a second chance to we could pray we had a change of heart, and we could see how beautiful you are. But we didn't, so I'm singing, yeah. I'm sorry that I let you down. I wish that I could see you now. Forgive me, child. Oh, forgive me, for I too were just a child. For I too was just a child. I try my best to put the past behind, trying to forgive myself and live my life, but I couldn't seem to let go. Oh yeah, visions of you and what you could have been. coming back again, steady tearing at my soul. So Father, hear this prayer. Father, hear this prayer. I hope to see their face someday. Hope to see their face when I reach those heavenly doors. Oh yeah, and I'm not the boy I was back then. God has forgiven me and made me a man. Forgiven me, and I'm ready to press on. But I thought I'd let you know. Sorry that I let you down. I let you down. Oh, I wish that I could see you now. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Forgive me, child. Oh, for I too was just a child. For I too were just a child. Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry, I'm sorry that I let you down. Sorry that I let you down. Oh, I wish that I could see you now. I wish that I could see you. Forgive me, child. Oh, forgive me, child. For I too were just a child. But I laid my sins at the cross. Yeah. He wiped all my sins away. And I moved on from here. Yes, I did. Yeah. You can do the same too. If this is for you. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Family, you've been locked into Urban Mission Radio with Catherine Murray for the P4CM Ex-Abortionist Special. And Catherine's just been talking us through her experience as a 19-year-old having an abortion. Catherine, I'd really like to know, do you feel that anybody within the healthcare industry actually tried to talk you out of an abortion, actually tried to give you any alternatives, and actually gave you a proper consultation and advice?
I wasn't informed of anything other than if that's what you want to do, fine, we'll do it. That was it. I wasn't consulted in terms of giving advice in terms of maybe you should do this or do that. Nothing at all. I was told, the only question the doctor asked me, do you want to do this? I'm like, I guess. And he said, okay, and that was it.
Wow, so he was kind of just jumping on it really quickly then.
Yeah.
Wow. And so what would it be that you wish that somebody had told you about the whole process, and maybe the emotional aspect and spiritual aspect of it, you know, at the time? What do you wish somebody would have told you?
Honestly, wish that they had told me that, first of all, that it was a child, because I blocked it out from it even being a child until I saw the child. I had heard so many times that, oh, it's not a baby, it's just a glob, it's just this, it's just that. And I'm like, okay, it's not a baby until you give birth to it.
Wow.
And so I literally deceived myself in thinking that, no, this is not a child, and kept going with it like, this is what I want, and what I wanted was more than me putting my desires aside and raising a child. I just was focused on what I wanted. So honestly, I didn't care what anyone said at that point. I knew what I wanted. I was focused on it. I was just being selfish.
Wow.
Because as much as my boyfriend had pleaded, he even offered, he's like, have the baby and I'll take care of it.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, and that's the part that hurts, because I'm like, he really wanted this child.
Wow.
This was going to be his first child. And I know so many women don't have that, in terms of someone coming in and saying, oh, you could go ahead and be supportive of it. But he was, and regardless of what he said, I did not want to hear it. I totally blocked it out.
And the emotional aspect of it must have been quite a lot to deal with. I mean, how did you begin to come to terms with it after you'd seen your baby? How did you begin to come to terms with what happened?
Unfortunately, I'll speak for myself, but I totally blocked it out.
Right.
Refused to even confront the issue. I thought it. I made up my mind. It's over, and I'm not gonna look back.
Right.
And I was determined not to do it, even though I knew that afterwards it did have some effects on me, and me battling with fear of people knowing what I did.
Yeah.